Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Virita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas College Station, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or to be independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third, to disobey the order of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity Karma Kanda. 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10, to not have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Let us move on to our next part of the session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before that, may I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्णा विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी from Charlotte. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna Preeti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining us every single day and giving your session. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavan.
Hare Krishna Balavrinda, welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sanita Ramya from Sharjah. Hare Krishna Balavrinda.
Hare Krishna Anita Ramya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and giving your session, and all glories to your wonderful services to the group. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Daksdas from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvindaksha Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining and giving your session. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yashmati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your session. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvas Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Shiromani Nandarani Mataji, after a long time hearing your voice, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining us. Welcome to the call. Please join us every day, Mataji. Maybe you're joining and not announcing. Please announce your name. We would like to hear you every day.
Sure, Mataji. Sure, Mataji. I relocated to Hyderabad. That's why gap has come like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice,
Sure.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank
you. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. This is Susmita from Mississauga, Canada.
Hare Krishna Shushmita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your session. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees.
This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your assistation. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Gandharvika Mataji, Dandvat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Kiran Goyal from ISKCON, Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Kiran Goyal Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your assistation. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Shama Guru Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and all glories to your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karuna Devidasi from Elcom.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and all glories to your wonderful services to the group. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Param Bhavani Shama Mataji, would you like to check your mic? Would you like to speak? You're speaking, but we can't hear you. No, Mataji, we can't hear
Mataji,
you.
when you remove the microphone, sometimes it might help.
Sorry, Mataji, we can't hear you. No, Mataji, it's not working.
Mataji, can you join from your phone or some other device? Because we know that we normally can hear you.
Yeah, maybe because of your laptop.
Just reconnect if possible.
Or keep the video from this device and audio for audio, you join the other device, Mataji. Yeah. Just join for audio. Yeah. In meanwhile, anybody would like to introduce themselves?
Hare
Hare Krishna, Radha Jyoti Mataji, I can hear your voice, but it's breaking. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Sukumar Gaur Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, 49th verse. 9 and 9. Wow, very nice. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Before I hand over the call to you, I request Parambhavani Shama Mataji to take over and give a brief introduction. Is your mic working, Mataji?
You need to unmute. Oh. Mataji, if mic is not working, we can skip the introduction because Prabhuji is already.
Sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead and introduce Mataji.
Okay, thank you so much, dear Mataji, for offering this service, and I'm so grateful to glorify Prabhuji. Briefly, His Grace Sukumar Gaur Das Prabhuji was born in Maharashtra, India in 1980, brought up in a social background where spirituality was often questioned. Later, he developed a natural taste for inquiry into the mysteries of God's creation. Passed a College of Engineering, Pune Medical Engineering in 2003. He came in touch with the devotees in International Society for Krishna Consciousness in 2003. He found all his questions answered in the books of Srila Prabhupada. As a student of MBA Finance, he studied Srila Prabhupada's books and became a sincere practitioner. He joined the NCDEX, National Commodities and Derivatives Exchange, Mumbai, as assistant manager and worked for 3 years. Later, he took on a 2-year brahmachari training course in Sri Radha Gopinath Temple, Mumbai, and was initiated into the Brahma Madhva Gauriya Vaishnava Sampradaya by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2010. He was in the youth preaching department and was in the seva of guiding the youth. He always wanted to share his joy of Krishna consciousness with the youth. So he gave up his job and decided to help the misguided youth by helping them understand the message of Bhagavad Gita. He joined ISKCON Chapati as a president in 2009. Later, he was posted to ISKCON Nasik Temple. He is serving as a youth counselor in various colleges of Nasik. He conducts seminars on personality development topics in educational and corporate sectors. This is a very brief introduction for Prabhuji. Now I hand over the call to Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for the brief introduction. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Are you ready, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Once again, thank you so much for your association. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you, Prabhuji. I now hand over the call to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll start the session with our Mangalacharan prayers. Then we'll take the shloka. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamvalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kantana Mustute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Ganchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Santubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminithi Nami Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvisheshunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So today we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, text number 49. Yes. Naite gunan gunino mahadadayo ye sarve mana prabritaya sahadeva martya adyantavanta urugaya vidanti hitvam evam vimrishya sudayo viramanti shabdat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Neither the three modes of material nature, Sattva Gun, Rajogun, and Tamogun, nor the predominating deities controlling these three modes, nor the five gross elements, nor the mind, nor the demigods, nor the human beings can understand your lordship. For they are all subjected to birth and annihilation. Considering this, the spiritually advanced have taken to devotional service. Such wise men hardly bother with Vedic studies. Instead, they engage themselves in practical devotional service. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As stated in several places, Bhaktyamam Avijanati Yavan Yaschashmitattvat. Only by devotional service can the Supreme Lord be understood. The intelligent person, the devotee, does not bother much about the practices mentioned in text 46, Mauna, Vrata, Shruta, Tapo, Adhyayana, Swadharma. After understanding the Supreme Lord through devotional service, such devotees are no longer interested in studies of the Vedas. Indeed, this is confirmed in the Vedas also. The Veda says, Kim Artha Vayam Adhye Sham Mahe Kim Artha Vayam Vakshamahe. What is the use of studying so many Vedic literatures? What is the use of explaining them in different ways? Vayam Vakshamahe. No one needs to study any more Vedic literatures, nor does anyone need to describe them in philosophical speculation. Bhagavad Gita 2.32 says, Yada te moho kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati. Yada tada gantasi nirvedam shrotapyasya shrutasya cha. When one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead by executing devotional service, one ceases the practice of studying the Vedic literature. Elsewhere it is said, Aradhito yad yadi hari tapasa tatakim. If one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in his service, there is no more need of severe austerities, penances, and so on. However, if after performing such severe austerities and penances, one does not understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such practices are useless. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all devotees for this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity on this auspicious day of Ekadashi. So today we will be discussing from Canto 7, Chapter 9, text number 49. A very beautiful shloka and purport given by Shil Prabhupada. So in this shloka, Shukdev Goswami is saying that na guna, the three modes, na guna, the predominating deities of the three modes, Mahadadaya, the five elements, the senses, the sense objects, Mana, the mind, Sahadevata, the demigods controlling the various organs and the senses, Martya, and the human beings. So, what about all these people? Six people, and some things are mentioned here. So, what about them? Navidanti means they are not able to understand. Twam, whom your lordship, Urugaya, who's sung and glorified by saintly people. So, what is it that they can't understand about the Supreme Person? Why they can't understand? Because he's saying Adi Antavanta. Adi Antavanta means it has a beginning and it has end. So the limitation part is shown here. So in understanding the Supreme Lord, there are serious limitations which are shown through the shloka, and these limitations are in each person and also the controlling demigods, not only in the humans but also in the controlling demigods. So now what is to be done? Evam. So what do the wise men do? Thus, Sudhya, all the wise men, what do they do? Vimrisha, after considering all these limitations, Viramanti, they cease to do what? Shabdat, from studying and understanding the Vedas. They cease themselves because now they have reached to a conclusion. How do you understand they have reached to a conclusion? Sudhya, they are all wise men, and thus they are able to reach to a conclusion as to what has to be done and what is not to be done. So today we'll discuss on this one point which Prabhupada mentions in his purport as well, that we have to understand the what is the purpose of the Veda. So this one point we'll elaborate, and we'll take help of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 18, and Prabhupada has quoted 2.52, second chapter, 52nd shloka. That will also take help from that shloka. So here in purport, Prabhupada is mentioning 3 points. Prabhupada is comparing bhakti versus the other process. Why bhakti is superior to the other process? Second, Prabhupada is stating why Bhagavad is superior to Vedas. Why not to study Vedas and why to study Bhagavad? We'll come to that point also. And the third thing is, what is the purpose of the Vedas? These three things we'll try to discuss in short. This is the same 3 points that Prabhupada has taken. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary, he is saying that knowledge is byproduct of bhakti. Knowledge doesn't come when you study scriptures. So in first canto also it is said that Jnana Vairagya Yatyasu, you will get Jnana and Vairagya. Detachment and knowledge will come as byproduct of bhakti. Asu means quickly. So bhakti has the power to manifest knowledge and renunciation in the heart of the person. But for that, we need to have some criteria, which we'll see here in the upcoming part. And he also says that if great intellectual people can't understand the knowledge, then how about the ordinary people, these jivas who are struggling with their mind, intelligence, and trying to learn the scriptures? So that is why this word Vimrish, after considering, is very important, because the wise, after considering everything, the background, the current circumstances, the situation in which the person is has to function, after considering all this, Vimrish, after considering all this, they have come to a certain conclusion as to what has to be done and what is not to be done. So they are recommending that the processes that are given in shloka number 46, like remaining silent, not to speak, observe vows, study Vedas and the Vedic literature, perform austerities, varnashram, dharma, chant mantra silently, absorbed in trance. Prabhupada is saying we need not do anything of this. Now we have to understand that this section of 46 to 50, Prahlad Maharaj is giving the conclusion about what is the easiest way to reach Krishna. Now, why easiest way has to be taken? Because the background of the Jiva is first given in 39 to 45. Prahlad Maharaj in 39 to 45 is making a clear-cut presentation about how miserable is the condition of the Jiva, especially in shloka number 39, 40, and 45. The sinful state of material mind which is dragging the jiva away from Harikatha is shown. 40th number of shloka, the multiple senses and the sense object drags the jiva in different direction, making his life seriously miserable. And the example is given just like a man who has multiple wives and each wife is trying to pull him in different direction. That is how miserable the jiva is made by each of the five knowledge acquiring senses. And in the 45th shloka, which is a very famous shloka, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that this jiva who is bound by all these material desires, he is behind one pleasure. Yanamaituna grahmeti sukam hetucham. That insignificant material pleasure, he is running behind that. So that miserable state is first shown. Why he needs an easiest process? Because a tough process like understanding the Vedas, reading the Vedas, and coming to a conclusion is not at all possible, because he is exclusively disturbed by his senses. So his mind cannot be peaceful. And to understand and to study the Vedas, we need mind which is peaceful and calm. That is why, after explaining the miserable condition of the Jiva, Prahlad Maharaj is now begging the Lord to save all the conditioned soul. Why? Save? Because he is saying, Lord, you are staying on the other side of the Vaitarana river and we are on this side. So we need a means to reach you. We need a means to understand you. And we need a way and path by which we can reach what you expect us to reach. Now the Lord in the Vedas has presented various ways and means to reach him. And this is what is exactly causing confusion in the minds of a conditioned soul. Okay. Just like in 46 shloka, we saw some of the methods which are not very easily possible for each and everyone. Just like today we have Ekadashi. So some of the devotees, they have Ekadashi, which is Nirjal, they try and avoid water and some avoid fruits. So many things, because they want to make an endeavor to remember the Lord. But see, the condition of the physical body is so weak. Just like last month on the Ekadashi day, one of our brahmacharis, he fasted whole day. He ate very little and he is already very thin. So he fasted on the day, and the next day was Dwadashi. So everybody got up early in the morning. The morning ritual started at 4:30. And while he was taking his bath early in the morning, because of that serious weakness He couldn't stand while he was taking bath. He fell on his head and he got a neck injury. So that is how weak we become when we perform tapasya. Forget about rest of the other things that are mentioned in shloka number 56. Not to speak to anybody, remain silent, observe vows, amass Vedic knowledge, undergo austerity, study Vedas, Vedic literature, chant mantra silently. Not possible, not possible. That is why he wants a proper method by which this person can use his proclivity and reach Krishna. Now, 47, 48, and this 49 shloka today, which we are reading from. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, through your energies, you have manifested everything in this world. But no one is able to understand you clearly. Why? Because every person is involved so much in their actions and the results of the action that there is a continuous flow of continuous chain of birth and death. That is why this place is called as Martyaloka. Everybody takes birth, dies, take birth, die. So this is continuous cycle. That is why it's called Martyaloka. People come here to experience death. The platform on which we are all surviving is the platform of death. Okay, and this death on this platform is very horrific. Others also experienced it, but that is not as horrific as what we experience here on this platform. Okay, so a few of them may try to understand you and reach you and try to reach to the final conclusion of the shastras, but not all can do that. So considering all this, Vimarsha, the wise men, hardly bother to read about the Vedic studies or the Vedic books. Why? Because there is so much of confusion. Clarity is there, but not everybody is able to perceive that clarity. Just like in the Kena Upanishad, at the start of the Kena Upanishad, there is a story. There are so many demigods, and everybody is fighting who is the superior, who is the superior. Then all of a sudden, there is one leaf that comes and it starts floating in the atmosphere. And there is a sound that comes that anybody who can catch hold of this or get this down is the supreme. And everybody, each and every demigod is trying to pull it down, tear it, burn it, wither it, do something with that leaf, but nobody is able to. Then at the end they ask, Kena, who is the person who can do that? And that is where Lord Vishnu appears to show that I am the supreme and I am the controller of this entire creation. So yes, there are places where huge amount of confusion. Just like now we are will be in India here. We'll have Ganesh festival, Ganpati Utsav. For 10 days they celebrate this. So I was going through Ganesh Puran, and in Ganesh Puran there is something called as Ganesh Gita. And if you read this Ganesh Gita, it is almost like Bhagavad Gita, but instead of 18 chapters, it has 14 chapters. And instead of 700 shlokas, it has some 400 or 450 shlokas. Exactly number I don't remember. 450 somewhere it is having. Almost the same content. Almost the same content. But just like Krishna shows his Virata Roop, so Ganesh ji is born to a king. Now here in this now Vyasdev clearly mentions about his birth. There are various births in various kalpas. He has taken birth in different ways and forms. One kalpa, his head is chopped off by our Shani Dev. In one kalpa, his head is chopped off by his own father. There are various stories about his birth, so we should not get confused what is happening. So in Ganesh Gita, when the chapter of showing the Virata Rupa is happening, there Ganesh ji shows the Virat Rupa and he says, you surrender to me because I am the one who is controlling everything. And the king, who is the father of Ganesh ji, surrenders to Ganesh ji and he leaves his kingdom and goes to the forest and does tapasya for Mahaganapati. So now somebody may get confused, oh, what is happening? But now for that, it's easy to understand because that same Ganpati has written Bhagavad Gita which is a part of Mahabharat. And in Mahabharat, he clearly says that I have written Mahabharat after proper deliberation, Vimrisha, the same thing. There are 8,888 odd shlokas. Odd means they are confusing shlokas, and that is why Vyasdev has put them in Mahabharata. Why? Because it will take time for Ganesh ji to understand, and by then he can do his daily duties and try and make the further shlokas. So 8,888 Kuta shlokas are especially put in Mahabharata. Why? To take time for daily activities and to think about the further shlokas. And Ganeshji takes time to think, and when it is acceptable for him, that is the time he writes the entire Gita, which is part of Mahabharata. So it is very clear that Ganeshji accepts Krishna as the supreme because he has written Mahabharata. He is the writer of Mahabharata, and it took 10 days. That is why we celebrate the entire 10-day festival for Ganeshji. So let's not be confused that in this there is one part of Purana, there is Adhyatma Ramayana, and in that Adhyatma Ramayana there is Rama Gita. Lord Ram is saying he is supreme. So you will find different Gitas, different, and the author is same, Vyas. So much of confusion, so much of confusion. There is Uddhav Gita, there is Bhikshuka Gita. So there are various Gitas, but the point is Krishna wants us to reach the final conclusion. And those who are intelligent after Vimrisha, what have they done after thinking and then coming to a concluding point? They have figured out that let's not fall in this trap of trying to understand the Vedas, but let's find out the essence of Vedas. Essence of Veda is Srimad Bhagavat, and essence of Upanishad is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we have reached the point where we are coming to the essence of the Vedic scriptures. Now, when a person wants to come to a conclusion, he has two paths on general trend. Okay, one is the Darshana Shastras. He can go to a Darshanik. Darshanik includes your scientific approach as well, because when we think of science, there is a particular Darshan Shastra which is written by Kanada Rishi. Kanada is Kana. Kana is he doesn't see the entire creation. He sees only atoms and molecules. Atoms and molecules. That is why his name is Kanad. He eats Kana molecules and atoms he is eating. Eating means he sees everything like that. So Vaisheshik philosophy, which is dealing with all your nuclear physics and whatever in which we can think in terms of atoms and molecules, already given. So science also is part of Darshan Shastra. We are not taught in that way. But actually, this has already been mentioned 5,000 years ago. It is written previously and in great depth. What research is being done now is now refound, which was lost, is now coming back in the same thing. But this has already been given, and all these are theistic sciences. But the point is, in spite of being theistic sciences, it's not easily possible for a general person to come to a conclusion that yes, this is what is understandable to me, in spite of being theistic science. And the other way is to follow the 12 Mahajanas, because the 12 Mahajanas are also well versed with all the Shastras, and they also understand what can yield what results, because they know that in the theistic philosophy there are three main contents: Jiva, Paramatma, and Prakriti. And they know the Jiva is part of Paramatma, and Prakriti is the energy of the Lord. So both are dependent on Paramatma. But the Paramatma is Swamsha of Krishna. So the Paramatma becomes dependent on Krishna. And Krishna is the Ashray, he is the shelter of the entire creation. But where does Krishna seek shelter? Krishna seeks shelter in Radharani. So Radharani becomes the Ashraya Tattva and Krishna becomes the object of love, Vishaya Tattva, because Krishna depends on her. So it becomes very easy for us to understand when we take the path of the Mahajanas. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. We take the path of the Mahajanas. They have traveled the entire path and they have given a breakdown. You will have this, you will have this, you will have this, and then you will reach here. The entire path is given. We need not analyze, we need not study. Just do the practices properly and we'll reach the end. So we have two ways. One is the scientific way, which we have to use our brains, which is not possible for everybody. But there is other way, a devotional way of the 12 Mahajanas, by which we can easily practice and come to the following conclusions. Okay. Now, let's come, because we should not confuse that here it is saying that reject the Vedas or no need to read the Vedas. Okay, it has been said, but for us, Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Vedas, that which we have to read, because it is recommended by all our acharyas. What's the speciality of Srimad Bhagavatam? 112. famous shloka, dharma proyajito kaitav atra paramo nirmat atra. So the word atra is used 3 times here. Why 3 times? Because Vyasadeva wants to highlight that amongst all the Puranas, only Srimad Bhagavatam, only Srimad Bhagavatam, only Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, sir, what's the speciality of your Srimad Bhagavatam? Only Srimad Bhagavatam can give you prem for Krishna, and no other literature can give you prem for Krishna, which is the goal of all the Vedic text, even Upanishads. But people are taught in a different way, so they are not able to see that yes, Krishna is present in the Upanishad. And Vyasdev, to what extent is he saying reject the Vedas? Kimva parer, or what is need of any other literature? If you have Srimad Bhagavatam, no need to read any other literature, no need to understand any other literature. Just by hearing, tat shrunu, just by hearing attentively, Lord will enter your heart and prema will arise. This is the speciality of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, there are 2 points which we have to understand. Because our end goal is what? In studying the Vedas or the Vedic text or the Puranas, love of Krishna. So now we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for such a long time. What's the reason we are not able? Sometimes we may perceive, sometimes we don't perceive love for Krishna. What's the issue? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentioned it's very clearly there is only one and one reason. See, if a person may or may not have faith, that's okay. But if that person is offenseless and he's associating with sincere, pure devotees, he will experience immediately Krishna and his love. He will immediately reach the stage of bhav. That is what is written. But if a person is carrying previous offenses or current offenses, he will take some time to realize Krishna and attain Krishna. And there are so many examples in Srimad Bhagavatam itself that are given. Just like in case of Chitraketu Maharaj. How all of a sudden something happens and he becomes a demon? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing, there was a previous offense that fructified at that time, and that is why he spoke in front of Parvati Devi. Otherwise, he would not have spoken or thought, whatever it is. That offense fructified at that time, and that offense is getting nullified in the body of Vritrasura. And then, but the point is, since he has clarified his position with Mother Parvati, she says, your love will be continuously flowing, that will not be covered by the effect of this offense. And even as Vritrasura is able to experience his love for Krishna. That is how offenses affect us, previous or current offenses. They are not allowing us to understand or attain Krishna and love for him. So the speciality of the Srimad Bhagavatam is that all Kaitava dharmas are rejected. Now somebody may ask a question, but is karma, jnana, yoga also cheating religion? Because it is given by Krishna. How can it be cheating? No, it can't be cheating. That is true because it is given by Krishna and that too for the welfare of the jiva. Now we have to understand what Krishna is saying. The point is, if some sadhaka, if some practitioner is approaching karma, jnana or yoga for lower results like dharma, artha, kama and moksha, he will not be cheated because they are meant for that. But if he approaches for prema, karma, jnana or yoga, he will surely be cheated. Because these processes don't have the power to bestow prem on the sadhaka. You may feel that you have got prem, but that is not prem, it is something look alike. So there are two things we have to properly understand, the selection of the book and the selection of the person from which this knowledge we will be taking. Because different books are meant for different audiences. Okay, so this is the point, first point. Now let's take the second point. Let's take some example and try and understand what's happening. We'll speak about 3 books now: Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. The point we ended was different books for different audience, and things are very particularly embedded for that kind of audience. So Prabhupada has given us 3 main books: Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now Bhagavad Gita ends where 1866. We all know this. Sarva Dharman Paridhija. Full surrender to what Krishna is saying. Follow as it is. Krishna is speaking full surrender, but at the same time, there are parts where Krishna says, okay, if you can't do full surrender, go and perform demigod worship. Of course, he condemns demigod worship, but that concession is given because that person is not ready for bhakti, because bhakti is the topmost, the highest. So there we find concession in Bhagavad Gita. That consideration has to be done. Now let's take Bhagavad. Now Bhagavad doesn't speak of only surrender, it speaks of what happens after surrender. When you have full surrender, Krishna will give you bhakti. So what happens after bhakti? So the ultimate bhakti is what? Vraj bhakti. And that is shown by whom? Who is very desirous of this Vraj bhakti? That is Uddhava. He has come from Mathura just to find out how Vraj bhakti is, because Krishna had sent him for that purpose. Asam, Charana Renu, Aham Jusha. He's saying, I want to get the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. But that same Srimad Bhagavatam, which is speaking of Vraj bhakti, the topmost of everything, is also saying akama sarva kama va moksha kama udarati. Tivrena bhakti yogena jajato purusha para. If you have desires, don't have desire. If you are moksha kami, if you are any desire, come read Srimad Bhagavatam, follow Srimad Bhagavatam, all your desires will be good. Again, there is a provision, because it is understood that not all sadhakas will want prem or have desire for prem. Let's take the final book, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, Chaitanya Charitamrita gives you the ultimate conclusion. It not only speaks of Madhurya Ras, it not only speaks of Braj Bhakti, but it is speaking of Madhurya Ras, the topmost of all the rasas. प्रेम भक्ति निर्यास करिते आस्वादन, राग मार्ग भक्ति लोके करिते प्रचारण. रसिक शेखर कृष्ण परम करुणे दुई हेतु ऐते इच्छारो कमी. Saying for these two reasons, to taste the Madhurya Ras and to tell the world about that this is the highest and you have to reach to this level. Bhakti loke karite pracharan. Pracharan means he has to tell the entire world. He has to transfer this message everywhere. But that same Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the topmost of all the books, is also saying that yes, there are other types of bhaktis which are lesser than the Vraj Bhakti, but they are also bhakti and they also can be practiced as per the level of the sadhaka. So we have to understand, when here it is that reject the Vedas, so all of a sudden it can't be rejected. You have to understand what is there in the mind of Vyasadeva. So when Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, the instruction that was given to him by his guru Narad Muni was what? I want a literature which gives final conclusion. Then he's saying, I gave it already so many places. He says, no, I want in each and every chapter continuous glorification of Lord Krishna. And if it is anything less than the continuous repetition, Manyeta Darshanam Khilam, I consider it lower class. And we see this same thing in Maitreya Vidur Samvad, where Vidurji is also telling Maitreya Rishi, see, I have already heard Mahabharata, other Puranas from Ved Vyasji. So please don't tell me anything inferior than the pure devotional service and the pure Krishna Katha. If you have, then you tell. I'm interested in that because I have heard Mahabharata from Ved Vyas. So when Ved Vyas is writing Srimad Bhagavatam, his focus is only one thing, repetitive glorification of Krishna, which is not there in the Vedas. That is why it has to be rejected. We have to understand this point. Otherwise, if somebody asks why reject the Vedas, that if you present it wrongly, then we'll end up in trouble. So Vedvyas was given this instruction, repetitive glorification. There is glorification in the Purana, in the Vedas, but it is somewhere, some point of time, not always. And without repetition, the point won't sink in the mind of the sadhaka. And that is why he is saying, repeat it again and again, repeat it. That is how Prabhupada has written his books time and again, body, soul, body, soul. But why? We need it. We need it. His Holiness Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj was giving this example. He said, one person came to his class and he was a very renowned Russian person, very renowned person. And he was reading Prabhupada books and he found the same point, body, soul, body, soul, body, soul. And he directly spoke in the class, why Prabhupada is writing body, soul so many times? And huge assembly of devotees. So Maharaj was thinking how to answer this person because he was a respected person socially. And all of a sudden, somehow Maharaj found that in his upper pocket there was a cigarette packet. So Maharaj said, do you smoke? He said, yes, I smoke. Maharaj said, okay, what's written on the packet of the cigarette? He's saying it is injurious to it. So Maharaj said, you read it every time. He says, did you understand? Then it clicked him. Oh, I read it once a while. If I read it daily, I automatically will give up cigarette smoking. That is why Prabhupada is repeating again and again, body, soul, Krishna is the supreme, Krishna is the supreme. Otherwise, all the Vedas or all the other books deal with only one thing, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. That is the primary, and Krishna is used as the means to reach Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That is why Narad Muni was so heavy on Vyas, with Vyas. So he wanted a book where this thing is highlighted at every given point of time, every given point of time. And that is how Prabhupada has presented. Please understand, it is not repetition. It is the order of Narad Muni that Prabhupada is following in his books. That is how the parampara manifests. The manifestation power comes from the parampara. Prabhupada manifested what Narad Muni had told Ved Vyas to do. Prabhupada is exactly in line in the parampara. Otherwise, why would have Prabhupada written so many books when already his Guru Maharaj's father Bhaktivinoda Thakur had written so many books? If you read the catalog of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books, this big is the catalog. So many books, so many. Why Prabhupada wanted to write his own books? Did he want to create separate identity? No. The books the both of them wrote were only accessible and understood by a certain class of people. They were not understood. Read Brahma Samhita. One book I tell you. Read Brahma Samhita, written by His Divine Grace Bhakta Siddhanta Sutta, and tell me if you can understand one page proper. The complexities, the words are so heavy. You need a dictionary to understand and understand what they have written. It's not easy. So Prabhupada is in parampara. The parampara is manifesting their desire to Srila Prabhupada. That is the greatness of Prabhupada. We feel why Prabhupada wrote this. It is required. We can't understand their language. We can't understand everything that they say. Prabhupada made it so simple, accessible to you, me. Anybody can read it in the entire creation. So that is how the power of parampara is manifesting. And Prabhupada writing these books, is it now? Is it happening? Is it? No, it is a previous back event. Read Srimad Bhagavat Mahatmya. There Narad Muni is promising Bhakti Devi that it is my promise to you that I will make you established in every town and village and every house. And who did that? Traveling the globe 12 times. Who did that? And established 108 centers across the globe. Who was the one person? So is Prabhupada the current figure? No, Prabhupada is already mentioned in the Purana. The only thing, the fortune we have is that he came recently and we were there at the same time. So we have to understand why Bhagavat is different from the Vedas and why Bhaktivedanta purports are so important. Even after having Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. Let's take an example. See, when Vyasdev is writing Srimad Bhagavatam, his focus is very clear. He wants glorification of Krishna. Now, somebody may ask, if glorification of Krishna is required, sir, then in the fifth canto, we see description of so many planets. How is it connected to Krishna? So that means fifth canto becomes Darshanam Khilam. It is inferior. No. We know that there are 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshan, Utti, Manvantar, Ishanukata, Nirod, Mukti and Ashray. Okay. But immediately following shloka of Vyasdev makes it very clear. In this shloka 210.1, he is making clear that how to define a Mahapuran. Mahapuran means every Puran has these 10 topics. But in detail, if it is written, then only it becomes a Mahapuran. That is why Bhagavad is a Mahapuran. But then what's the speciality of this Mahapuran? If these 10 topics are present, then the second shloka 210.2. Dashamasya Vishuddhartam Navanam Yalakshanam Varnayanti Mahatmanam Shrutena Arthena Cha Anjasa. The entire purpose of the 9 topics is for what? Is for that one topic, Ashraya. And who is that Ashraya Tattva? We took in the first starting point, that is Krishna. So anything that glorifies Krishna's position doesn't become darshanam khilam. It is a darshan which is superior. Why? Because he is saying dashamasya vishuddhartam navanami election. The other 9 things are exclusively meant for the dashamasya. That is the vishuddha artham, the distilled part. What is the distilled part? To understand who is the one person of whom I can take the ashray, I can take the shelter. And what is that ashray? That is the 10th canto. So any canto which supports the 10th canto is not a darshanam khilam. But this applies to the other Puranas. They are darshanam khilam, even though written by Vedas. Why? Because the main highlight is not to show the Ashray Tattva, Krishna, but the highlight there is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And Krishna is used as an instrument to fulfill all this. So Krishna becomes a secondary thing in other Puranas, and that is why they are Darshanam Khilam. So when Narad Muni is saying Darshanam Khilam, even the everything that is written previous to Srimad Bhagavatam, including the 4 Vedas, become Darshanam Khilam because there is no clarity there. There is no clarity there. Now the third point. So here Vyas is told to focus on the essence part. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam speaks of the essence that bhakti is the only best and the topmost way, which includes all other ways. Then yoga comes there, karma comes there, everything will come. But in bhakti there are no Vida bhakti. Bhakti is displayed by Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Ambrish Maharaj. But then how to conclude? Then the 10th canto, which is the Ashraya Tattva, which is the topmost, the concluding part, it will tell you Vraja Bhakti, which is performed by the Vrajavadhu. Ramya Kachirupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam. Where did you find this Vrajavadhu Upasana? It is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. How to worship Krishna best way? Vrajavadhu Upasana. Where it is given 10 canto. So that is how Srimad Bhagavatam becomes superior to all the other Vedas and Puranas and Itihasas. Because the topmost kind of bhakti is displayed in the 10th canto, which is the Ashray Tattva of the uh, entire gamut of Vedic knowledge. Now let's take final point. Now Srila Prabhupada here in this purport has taken 2.52 as a reference here. Now let's take dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna from Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So Prabhupada is quoting 252. After 252, we will come to 15th chapter where the same thing is repeated, and then we'll come to the 18th chapter where there is a discussion between Arjuna and Krishna. What is to be done and what is not to be done. 252, Yadate Moha Kalilam, Prabhupada quotes this shloka, Buddhir Vyati Tarishyati, Tada Dantasi Nirvedam Shrutavyasya Shrutasya. You'll cross over what is heard previously and what is to be heard afterwards. Everything will become very clear. So Krishna here, what is Krishna wanting to say here? Tadate moha kalilam buddhi vyatitarish. Your buddhi will go beyond all the illusions and doubts. What is heard and what is to be heard in future. Krishna wants to tell Arjuna, when doubts and misconceptions are cleared, you need no more scriptural understanding or teachings. What you need is only a certain type of sadhana to reach your goal, Shri Krishna. And in that sadhana of Shravanam comes Srimad Bhagavatam, which has full-fledged Leelas of Shri Krishna. So rejecting Srimad Bhagavatam as a book won't suffice here because now it is part of the sadhana. So you have to catch hold of Srimad Bhagavatam also. So Arjuna is thinking, oh, all my doubts will be removed. Then why do I need the scriptures? Yes, that is true. Just like Prabhupada always gave this example, you take medicine only till the time you are sick. When you get healthy, you don't take medicine. Similarly, the Shastras, according to 2.52, why Prabhupada quoted this shloka here? Because Prabhupada is mentioning through this shloka that Shastras are needed only till the time there is a clear-cut conclusion. Once the conclusion is reached, there is no more need for tapasya or any other form. Only what the acharyas tell To reach Krishna, that much you follow and everything is done. If the acharyas, if your guru is saying chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, and Krishna will come and take you, Krishna has to come and take you. He has to do that. So, what is the purpose of the Vedas? Purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. Where it is given 15:15, Sarvasya cha amriti sannivishtu. Krishna in this purport, Krishna in this shloka, what is Krishna saying? See, look at how Krishna is planning the release of each and every single living entity. Krishna in this shloka is saying, wants to tell Arjuna, look at my burning desire to help each and every jiva. So Arjuna is saying, how 15:15, Krishna quotes for this question. How you want to help? How is your burning desire? How much is your burning desire? Krishna is saying, I help the jiva, I assist the jiva to get out of this material world. How? By presenting the Vedic literature. Now, what's the big thing? Krishna says 3 things here. I made the Vedanta through Vyas. Okay. Second thing, I am the only and only one person who knows it in detail, or what is meaning of what is only known to me. And through me as the Paramatma, I tell bits and pieces to each and every person. Nobody knows it completely. Till I reveal the real meaning, nobody can know the entire meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in every Leela, we have to understand this. When it is Brahmar Geet is so deep that what acharyas have written is only some fraction of a drop, fraction of the fraction of a fraction of a drop, and that to what they could realize. That deep is Brahmar Geet, because that is the topmost Geet. There is no Geet topper than, even it is higher than Gopi Geet, because that Geet speaks about the Vipralamba Bhav, which is the epitome of love, loving relation. So Krishna says, Vedanta Krit Vedya with, I only know what Radharani was speaking to the Brahman. Others have tried to understand what was the discussion. And that Brahman is Krishna himself, and Radharani is speaking, expressing her emotion. And the great acharyas are trying to pick up what they could understand, bits and pieces from here and there. Vedanta Krit Veda Videv Chaham. I know in detail. Everybody else only knows in bits and pieces. That same Krishna in the 18th chapter is now telling the purpose of knowledge. Okay, 1862. Let's start 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Let's take this 5 shlokas. In short, we'll take. In 1862, Krishna is explaining the purpose of Veda. Oh, sorry, purpose of knowledge. Why a jiva needs knowledge. Okay. 1862 तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शांतिं स्थानं प्राप्यसि शाश्वतम्. He is saying eva means only and only take shelter of me. Tam eva sharanam gaccha, meri or meri hi sharan lo. How? Sarva bhavena, with all your mind and soul and body. Tat prasada, and when you take full shelter, tat prasada, by my mercy, param shanti, you will achieve sthanam prapsisi shashvatam. You will reach a destination which is eternal. Okay, so transcendental peace and transcendental abode is only possible when eva sharanam gaccha, you surrender to Krishna. Right now, 63. Okay, this was 62. Now 63. Iti te jnanam akhyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. Now the same word that we hold off in the starting, vimrishetat asheshena yata ichchesi tathakuru. Now Krishna is saying to Arjuna, I gave you everything, whatever I had. I've explained to you knowledge and even more confidential knowledge. Now you deliberate. Vimrishetat means deliberate on this fully, and yata ichchesi tathakuru. You do as you want, or do as you think that is right. So Krishna says, so this is the point where Gita is now concluding. Okay. Now, Arjuna says Gyan consists of karma, ashtanga, and other yogas. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling us what Gyan means. Gyan means by that which you can know something. So Shastra gives knowledge about Lord Krishna and the processes to reach him. Now Krishna is saying here to Arjuna, Guhyat Guhyataram. I have revealed a scripture, not knowledge. I have revealed to you entire scripture, a bank of knowledge. And how it is Guhyat Guhyataram, it is more secret than the knowledge that is revealed by Vashishta, Badara, and that is Vyas and Narad. Why? Because we took the point, because they only know in bits and pieces, not everything is known to them. You may ask Badara and Vyas also don't. Lord Shiva says this. Shuko Vetti, Aham Vetti, Shuko Vetti, Vyasa Vetti na Vetti va. I know Bhagavat entirely. Shukadev Goswami, but I don't know Ved Vyas knows or no. But somebody may say, Ved Vyas is in this Ved Vyas which we have had in the 5,000 years previously is incarnation of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Yes. Why is Lord Shiva saying like that? He may or he may not know. Because see, when somebody tells you to speak about yourself, do you tell the entire thing? You tell in bits and pieces. Similarly, Vyas, being Krishna's incarnation, hasn't revealed entirely everything in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He has revealed in bits and pieces. That is why Lord Shiva is saying like that. So all get knowledge from Krishna and understand as per their capacity. Why? Guhyat Guhyataram, because it is very confidential. It cannot be revealed to anybody and everybody. That is why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying chapter 1 to chapter 6, just like there is a golden box. So the upper lid of the golden box is chapter 1 to 6. The lower lid is chapter 13 to 18. And in between, there is a huge shining diamond of bhakti, which is chapter 7 to 12. Now, somebody may ask, why is it so hidden, sir? Because bhakti is that element by which anybody and everybody can bring Krishna under his control. Even if you're an elephant like Gajendra, you can bring Krishna under your control. If you're a beggar like Sudama, you can bring it under your control. If you're from a lower caste like Vidura, you still can bring it under in Krishna under your control if you have bhakti. Then nothing remains to be done and nothing remains to be achieved. If you have bhakti, that is why it is kept hidden. Okay. And the last two shlokas, 64. Sarva guhyatamam bhuya shrunu me paramam vachan. Ishito, asime, dridham. Ishito and dridham, these are two adjectives. Tato vakshami te hitam. Now Arjuna is asking, why are you repeating? You already repeated it so many times. Chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, you repeated there. Again, after the 13th chapter, you repeated. Again, you are trying to conclude. Why you are doing so much for me? Tato Vakshami Te Hitam, you are my most dear friend. I am speaking the supreme Guhya Guhya Taram, the topmost supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge. Why? Because for your benefit, Te Hitam. Now, why is Krishna doing so much hit to Arjuna? We'll see that later. Here, Krishna is speaking about the rarity of bhakti. And Arjuna is so shocked that bhakti is so rare. Do I have bhakti in me? I want bhakti because I want Krishna with me always. And when Krishna sees this stuck Arjuna, who is in deep meditation, do I have bhakti? I want Krishna. Then that love for Krishna starts flowing in Krishna. So for Arjuna starts flowing in Krishna's heart. Then Krishna speaks. He says, Arjuna, don't worry. I'll recap the entire thing I've spoken in the next 8 shlokas. Forget, I'll recap everything for you. That is the love Krishna is showing for Arjuna. Essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita in next 8 verses. Forget about the difficulties in having to revive everything that you don't worry whether you will be able to understand or remember what I've told you previously. I'll repeat the same thing for you, Arjuna. And that is where Arjuna's qualities are shown. Dridhamiti, very dear to me. Dridhamati, mind is fixed on me. That is what Krishna is saying. And I want uh, to show my affection to you. And that is why I'm revealing all the secrets. And what is the secret that is revealed? It is the same secret. Krishna says, I'll repeat everything for you. And Krishna is repeating. So 9.34 becomes 1865. Same thing is repeated. 934 is Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mam Evaishya Yuktavam Atmanam Mat Parayan. Same thing repeated. मम मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी माम नमस्कुरु माम एवैषि सत्यम ते प्रतिजानी प्रियोसी me. He's saying manmana bhava madbhakto. You think about only and only me, nobody else, no demigods allowed, nobody else allowed. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. Madhyaji perform worship of various kinds to me. Namaskuru, bow down to me. Mam evaishi satyam te. Understand this, Arjuna. What I'm speaking is truth. You will come to me. Mam evaishi means you will come back to me. Pratijani priyosi me. I'll give myself in return for all the services that you are doing for me. This is what is translated. I'll give myself in return. So if you are seeking anything apart from Krishna, please stop doing that, because Krishna is ready to give himself. Pratijani priyosi me. We all are so dear to Krishna. So Krishna is saying, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage. By doing this, you will come back to me. So what is the process of liberation? This is the process of liberation. If anybody is asking how mukti is sambhav, then this 1865 and the same thing repeated in 934 will make your liberation, your love of God and everything possible. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, what does the word Satyam, does it mean only true? Krishna is doing like this. In India, it is very common. I swear of you, I swear of him, I swear of her. Krishna is saying, I swear, this is my oath. That is the intensity with Krishna is presenting. But still, Arjuna has doubt on Krishna. Arjuna says, but Krishna, I've heard that people born in land of Mathura make such oath in each and every statement. But at times they may follow, at times they may not follow. Then Krishna is using the word what? Pratijani priyo. He's saying, Arjuna, you are most dear to me. And till date, even if that person is ill charactered, and if somebody is dear to him, he will not cheat that person, he will not lie to that person. Priyo, you are so much dear, so that Satyam becomes the oath, and that cheating is cancelled by the word Priya. He says, I'll never lie to you. When Krishna loves somebody, he is ready to do anything for that person. And when the person loves Krishna, he is ready to do anything for that person. Just like some people ask, why Krishna made the plan of shifting Balramji to Vrindavan? What was the need? Because Krishna knew that Balramji, if he takes birth in Mathura's prison house, and if he appears in that prison and comes, catches hold of him, and if he understands that he is going to kill my Krishna, he would have killed Kamsa in the prison itself. And the Leela would have ended there. No more of Krishna coming. Balramji is the seventh, and that's the end. So Kamsa killed, all other killed, because everybody will flee in fear. So no more killing Bakasur and Putana, nobody can be killed. So Krishna purposefully shifted because he knew Dauji, Balramji loves me so much. That is why he shifted first time. You go there, you settle down there, I'll come, we'll do Leela, then I'll bring you back to Mathura. Now last point. Now we understand Dauji loves Krishna, Krishna loves Balaram. How much Krishna loves Arjuna? That is the point where Gita ends in 1866. 1866, Sarvadharman Parityajya. This is the point that love for Arjuna is overflowing in Krishna's heart. And Krishna in this shloka, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing, Krishna says, Arjuna, I held back Prema Bhakti till now. Why? Because it is my promise that I will only give you or anybody Prema Bhakti through the parampara or through a bona fide person who carries Prema Bhakti in his heart. Only that person will give Prem Bhakti. But I break my own rules, just like I broke the rules of the war for you. Here I am breaking my own protocol. I have made a protocol that Bhakti will be transferred from a person who is my representative, who carries Bhakti, and he will give that Bhakti Lata Bij in your heart, and Bhakti will start flourishing by hearing and chanting process. But here, love for you is so high in my heart that I can't stop myself. So 1866, when Arjuna is ready for Sarva Dharman Parityaja, that is the point when Krishna gives Arjuna Ananya Bhakti, the Kevala Bhakti, the Ekanta Bhakti. It's the same thing. Okay. But still after that, there is one doubt in Arjuna's mind. Krishna, my daily duties, I am a Kshatriya. I have to do so many things.
Voice is so low.
Krishna says, do as I say. Arjuna says, even if it is killing, it is a sin. Krishna says, yes. Even if it is sin of killing, of course, killing in a Dharma Yuddha doesn't come under the purview of sin. But if you feel it is a sin, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami ma shucha. I'll deliver you from all the sins. Don't worry about that. And that is where the famous shloka, Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Varjanam, the 6 symptoms of Sharanagati. Actually, this shloka is from Vayu Purana. Okay. And this is quoted by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur there. And he says that this 6 symptoms of Sharanagati are shown by Arjuna there. And that is where Krishna wants. And this is where Krishna tells something. Arjuna is ready now, and Arjuna, Krishna says, display what you have understood. Then Arjuna says, Nashtamoho smritir labdhva tat prasadatmaya achyuta. Now Krishna says, I want something from you, Arjuna. Krishna says, you are my friend, but one thing is remaining. Arjuna says, what? Krishna says, relieving the burden of the earth, and I want you to be the instrument of doing that. And Krishna is waiting what Arjuna is saying. That is where Arjuna says, Karishye vachanam tavo. I will do all that you want me to do by fighting this war, if that is what you want. And that is where Arjuna displays his Sharanagati, which is the essence of all the Vedic literatures. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Shil Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna, dear Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mother, you are
Yes.
audible.
Hare
Voice is
Krishna,
so
dear
low
Prabhuji.
somehow.
Oh, sorry. So wonderful and inspiring class, Prabhuji. I love so much some points that you mentioned. Like I took notes of, like like it's a great opportunity to learn about how bhakti is superior to other process, how Srimad Bhagavatam is superior to Veda, and what was the final purpose of Veda. That's the 3 main points you've discussed, and some like long like cherished questions were answered today, like why Srila Prabhupada's purports are so important when there was so many books from previous acharyas, and also why Krishna assisted Balada, because Balada you comes like Balada loves Krishna so much. And yeah, in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, the love for Arjuna is overflowing in Krishna's heart, and because Arjuna showed all the 6 symptoms of Saranagati to Krishna, and ready to become the whatever Krishna instruction is. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. So so if anyone has any question, I can see 2 hands from Anuradha Mataji, the Radha Jyoti Mataji. So Anuradha Mataji, can you please go
Yes,
ahead?
thank you,
with-
Master. Hare Krishna Guru. I hope I'm audible. Thank you. It's a beautiful class. I need to hear it again. There were so many points to internalize. But in the beginning, as you started, your class was like Bhagavad Gita, taking like gradually from one stage to another, then to another. So, Prabhu, in the beginning, it was sounding as if because we cannot do all the austerities and all the things. And the example you gave of a brahmachari, that is my condition too. So it felt like because we cannot do anything else,
That's why we are doing bhakti. But of course, you brought it up. So would you speak again on it for just a line or two? And I have one more follow up.
What was the last line, Mataji? You said?
I said, would you just like, for me, because for me, the mind always takes the negative. So for me, it sounded as if we cannot do anything. That's why we are doing bhakti. Can you just say a line or two on that, Prabhu? I know your rest of the class was on that, but just for me to take it home for the rest
Yes,
of the
yes.
day, Prabhu. Yes.
Yes. See, bhakti is only one line that I would like to repeat is why bhakti is so rare and why it is to be done and why it is the topmost process, because the Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, the Ishvara of all the yogas, is easily captured in the heart if somebody is practicing bhakti, which is not very easily possible by other methods. So, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the person, the Krishna as a person is so pleased when he sees that somebody is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, or when somebody is trying to perform some little austerity out of love for him. Immediately he is so captured, he is so enamored by that person that within his heart he enters through the sound vibration and starts cleaning his heart by his own hands. That is what Srimad Bhagavat Canto 1 says. So whatever austerities in Ekadashi you are doing for the pleasure of Lord Krishna is very much appreciated. So let's not stop pleasing Krishna by whatever little activities we can do with whatever little energy we have.
Thank you. Bro, I had one more doubt. Like when we were reading teachings of Lord Chaitanya, there I thought these six philosophies were atheistic philosophy, and you said today they are theists, like the Kannada
So
and
in
Vaisheshika.
atheistic philosophy, we have Jainism and Buddhism, because they don't believe in Vedas, but all these are based on Vedic understanding, but only a part of it is taken, not the
Okay.
entire thing. Yeah.
So it's completely not Bhagavan based, but it is still not atheistic, it is theistic, like the six philosophies, right?
Yes, they are theistic philosophies.
Okay, okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavad.
Thank you, Mataji, for wonderful questions. And next, Radha Jyoti Mataji, can you please go ahead?
Yes, Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna and pranams to you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, Dandavat pranam to you. And Prabhuji, you are giving philosophy as in story. I was not able to write it, the today's class. I'm so grateful to you for giving all these points. I have few questions. One is you mentioned about the repetition is because it has to hammer our mind. So Prabhuji,
Yes.
what happens the next? It will have hammer to the mind by repetitive reading, the repetition of mind and body, but will not come to that level of realization that we are soul, we are not body. So how it will happen because of repetition?
Okay. So your question is how repetition helps us understand that we are not this body and but a pure soul, right?
Yeah, what is the logic or what is the
Okay,
reasoning
okay,
that
okay.
Srila Prabhupada gave?
Yes. See, the logic behind repetition is, I'll give a simple example. I have given this, but I'll repeat it because since it can very nicely answer your question. I have a habit. We wake up early in the morning, so there is Mangalarti, there is chanting, there is Guru Puja. So after all this, I come and sit near my locker. This is my daily routine. So I have been repeating it for years now. So one day, what happened? I came there. I have an everyday seva making announcement that this is the Bhagavatam class speaker. This is the event that is we'll be celebrating today. So all this I do. I come. After that, I sit there. There is one tiffin which has something to eat because early morning really feel hungry. So I take a little bit to so that the fire doesn't go waste. So every day I come at the same time. I sit at the same place. I take out the tiffin. I take out something from it. I eat. Okay, that's how my brain is now tuned because I've been repeating it for a long time. So one day, every morning, everything was fine. I did my morning routine. I announced myself that I today is Ekadashi. Everybody will be fasting, and it's a Mahadvadashi, so everybody must fast till 12 o'clock. After that, whatever Ekadashi prasadam if you'd like to take, you take. I came there. Everything went out of my mind. I came there, I sat down, I took the tiffin, I ate the thing half. I swallowed it. After swallowing, I realized that today is Ekadashi. That repetition sank so deep that it became part of my life. Similarly, when you daily hear Srimad Bhagavatam that I am not this body, I am a pure soul, when huge storm strikes your mind, the intensity is drastically. I don't say that they don't hit you hard, but the intensity is reduced to such great extent that those things don't bother you like they were bothering me previously. And that is the power of repetitive hearing. Mind doesn't take all things very seriously. When somebody hits you that you are not this body, you're a pure soul, and ultimately this body is going out anyways, ultimately the soul will be reaching Krishna. So that is the power of repetition. It sinks in the subconscious, and at the right time, it will trigger and help you deal with the crisis. That is why Prabhupada very intelligently has written his purports, hitting the same point: I am not this body, I am not this body, I am not this body. It may not directly give you the realization that you're a spirit soul. It can give you, because see, overcoming body, just like marathon, book marathon. Gita Jayanti, December, everybody is out. So many devotees don't eat for hours together. Isn't that a realization that I am not this body, I am pure soul? Because you forget the body. There is no eating, there is no drinking, no going to the washroom. Everyone is thinking, how do I give the book? How my numbers will grow? How I distribute more books? You're already crossing the limits of the body because you're not tortured by bodily needs. That is where absorption comes into picture. But for absorption, the foundation has to be that I am not this body, I am a soul, and I want to serve Krishna. That is how it goes. Okay.
So, Prabhuji, you mentioned about the crisis, right? When we deal with the crisis, the power of repetition will help the subconscious mind to pop out, and it will help us to understand that we should act, or we will naturally act on the bodily level as per your teachings today. So, what do you mean by that crisis? When we chant,
Crisis means, for example,
एक minute.
if some devotee.
When we chant,
Mhm.
do you mean that when we chant, it will be pure chanting and the offenses will be reduced?
See, committing offenses is absolutely a different thing. If you chant nicely, your mind will be peaceful. When your mind is peaceful, you will be able to think better and react better in the situation, and that will automatically avoid offenses. So, avoiding offenses is connected to your peaceful mind, and that comes through peaceful hearing, reading, chanting, understanding the things. Okay. So that is
Okay,
how these
Prabhuji.
two things
And
are connected.
yeah, Prabhuji, it needs a lot of realization. Prabhuji, you mentioned about Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatmya, and you have not mentioned who has written or what is the authentic
Yeah,
book.
it is part of I don't exactly remember. It is part of Padma Puran, and it is written by Vedvyas himself.
And Prabhuji, you mentioned that the Artha, Kama, Moksha, and everything, it is for the desires of Puja, La Pratishtha. So you mean that all the literatures or the scriptures prior to Srimad Bhagavatam are meant for the desires to fulfill?
Yes, even initially, before Vedvyas met his Guru Narad Muni, even Bhagavad was an book which was meant to fulfill Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. But when Vedvyas was chastised by his Guru, then he said, rewrite this. That is how Vedvyas has rewritten. Rewritten means he has an expanded Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, Bhagavatam was very small. He elaborated it in 18,000 shlokas later on.
And the last question is, so this is the reason that we have CC, isn't it? Because Srimad Bhagavatam will not give everything because it's the incarnation of transcendental sound of the Lord.
No, Bhagavatam can give you everything. Bhagavatam can fulfill Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and also Pancham Purushartha, that is Krishna Prem. It has power. That is why I quoted that shloka where Krishna is saying, Akama Sarva Kama Va Moksha Kama Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yoga. If you do Tivra Bhakti, if you have desire or if you don't have desire, it will fulfill everything that you have if you want. Bhagavad has
So
that power.
the love of the God that is that is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam is manifested in CC. Is it like that?
See, CC Bhagavat in itself carries love of Godhead. Okay, but how will that love of Godhead manifest? That love of Godhead will manifest when you understand how you deal with devotees. Because here, currently, we are all infected with various anarthas and we are struggling with that. Okay. And in that, we have to deal with devotees. And how to deal with devotees in that association is taught in Chaitanya Charita. Okay. When you
To
go to
minimize the
Golok,
anarthas.
pardon?
You means to minimize the anarthas, to get rid of anarthas.
Minimization of anarthas is done by chanting and hearing process. Okay, and when that heart is free from that anartha, then you will start relishing that love for Krishna. Now it is there, but it is covered. So hearing chanting will uncover and you will be able to experience. But what happens is there are previous traces of that are left. Okay, but that previous traces can come up again and force you to commit an aparat. That will cover again the entire love. So how to be very cautious when you deal with devotee? Chaitanya Charitamrita deals with that part.
Okay, Prabhuji, you have given all the answers. I'm eternally grateful to you, and I'm sorry to all the devotees. I've taken a lot of time. I'm grateful to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, and Dandavat to you.
Hare Krishna, dear Radha Jyoti Mataji, for your wonderful question that helps us too. And Hare Krishna Prabhuji for patiently and elaborately answering all the questions. I see no more hand raised, but I see a lot of praise in the chat box. Like Harita Mataji has said Hare Krishna to Prabhuji, and also Jayashree Mataji said that Prabhuji it is said that there's a question from Jayashree Mataji that Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. Prabhuji it is said that when Krishna gives really mercy, he snatch our everything. Is that actually Krishna's mercy,
No.
or we suffer due to our past
Vishwanath
karma?
Chakravarti Thakur answers this question by giving example of Sudama and Dhruva. He says it is not always the case that Krishna snatches away. It depends upon how the devotee will be utilizing what Krishna gives. If Krishna is very, very sure that he will not misuse, Krishna can give us anything and everything that we ask from Krishna. So that is very sure. Krishna can give us at this moment, but only thing Krishna expects is the assurance that you won't misuse that. And in terms of Dhruva Maharaj, he had that assurance. In Sudama's case, he had that assurance. So he gave them so much more than what they expected. Yudhishthir Maharaj, another example that is quoted by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He gave them everything and anything that they wanted in their life. So it's not that it's not the fixed protocol. No, it's not like that. Otherwise, all devotees will be poor. Already they're poor. So if Krishna snatches everything, nobody will take to devotional service. So that is the point Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions in Dhruva's pastime. And that's not the case. Krishna doesn't do that with anybody and everybody. And it's not required in all cases. It's only in few cases Krishna wants to make sure that I am ready to give you, but make sure you don't misuse that. So Krishna at times takes out. But that's not the routine protocol.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Lalita Mataji and Dinavandu Brothers Prabhuji is saying, Hare Krishna, Sukumar Gaur Prabhu, please accept our most humble obeisances. What a most extraordinary glorification to the founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Everyone is in debt to you, and your great ability to open up and clarify so many points on how to approach Krishna Bhakti by the Acharyas and the Lord's grace, mercy, and love of all of us. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna, your most grateful devotees, Lalita Devi and Dasi and Dinabandhu Gurudas. Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji and
Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. They've always showered their love and care upon me. Ever grateful to both of them and all the devotees for allowing me to make some presentation here. Hare Krishna.
And yes, Srimati Priya Mataji is also saying Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for wonderful class. Many points and takeaways. So grateful to that. Absolutely true from my end. And also Hemangi Gopeshwari Mataji is also saying beautiful class and Hare Krishna. Yashashri Mataji is also saying thank you. Okay. So if no one has any further questions, can we end the call with Prabhuji's permission?
Yes, thank you.
Again, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your
Thanks to
enlightenment.
Shama Gauri Mataji, she takes my follow. That's why it's possible.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very wonderful class. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Very beautiful points and very nice stories. Thank you.
We are eternally grateful to you, Prabhuji, and certainly we are looking forward to your association again in this platform. Dear devotees, let's offer our obeisances to Prabhuji.
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नववृंद की जय।
Bhagavad की जय।
जय।
Okay, devotees, thank you so much for joining the call.
Thank you so much.
Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. We can end the call here.